Hi, Dr. Z. Thank you so much for your time today and for taking this moment to answer these questions for me.
I'm glad to be here.
So, as the parent of a child who is on the spectrum, the 4th of July brings up a lot of emotions for me. As the parent of a young child at that time, I had no idea what I could do to prepare him for loud celebrations. And he was definitely not a fan of the loud celebrations, but enjoyed watching the fireworks. So I'm wondering if you have any suggestions or advice on how we can prepare our neurodivergent children for loud celebrations.
No, thank you for sharing your own personal experience, and thank you for asking this question. I can say, as a child psychiatrist, as a parenting coach, I get so many questions around that time. Many times, parents are literally crying for help. They don't want their child to miss out. Because when the 4th of July is a big event, everyone is excited, everyone to celebrate, and there is a loud, you cannot miss it, no matter even you are at home, because so much is happening. And the kids with neurodivergent, they already have been missing on so many things, so many activities, because of their sensory issues, because of the transitioning. So I think the first thing is reminding yourself, the more I can prepare ahead of time, the better I can help. For example, let's say if the child is have very sensitive to the loud noise, having headphone, the noise cancellation headphone, having a quiet space, and that quiet space could be, in a car, like especially if you are in an open space, that quiet space could be, just a small, comfortable space. Could be that could be, some having some sensory tools, that may have helped them. That could be, a weighted blanket, their favorite toy, anything that used to comfort them. So having those prepared ahead of time. And the other thing is that, just keep checking with them, how they are feeling, and allowing them and telling them, it's okay that if you, anytime you start feeling having, some uh, like uncomfortable, you let me know right away. So those are the couple of thoughts I would say may help, our parents to make this event more memorable.
I love that. I love being able to include my child, and honestly, I hadn't thought about checking in and asking how he's doing or how he's feeling. I think that's important too, to also give them that voice to
True,
speak up and to say something.
definitely.
You know, something else that I also have found has been a challenge for me is explaining to my parents and my friends, educating them, and also trying to help them understand what my child's needs were at the time during the loud celebrations. When, as a parent, I was already overwhelmed enough with how I was emotionally handling it, much less explaining it to anyone else. So, how can we educate family and friends?
Yeah, I think you will be surprised, or might not be surprised, that sometimes it's hard to educate grown-ups, um, and without making them feel defensive, or without making them feel, that they don't know. So I think I would say start having that conversation a little bit early. You don't have to go in detail, what your child go through, or what he, she, or they struggle. You just let them know, we want to have this event very helpful. Last year, these things were very helpful, and this year, and the other thing I can tell you, you take yourself out of the equation. You can say, I have this conversation with my therapist, with my coach, with my occupation, and they suggested these strategies. What do you think? What can you do? Because I know that you have been in his, her, or their life. Have you found any of those things have been helpful? What do you think could be helpful in that moment? And tell them, the therapist or the occupational therapist or the ABA, they have also shared, that having a weighted blanket, all these things, and tell them, if you have a quiet space in the house, they can utilize it. Tell them, that if anytime they feel the child is being dysregulated, don't try to be a super uncle, super aunt, just stay, and you are always there, ask for help. And the other thing is, it's okay to tell them, I know it's hard. I know we all want the child to enjoy it, and we are hoping that things will go as planned. But if it's not, that something you have done wrong, something I have done wrong, or something the child has done wrong. This is we are all learning together. So having that approach, I
Mhm.
think I have seen people found it, who are doing it together rather than someone is telling them what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I think lastly, what comes up for me and I think a lot of parents is it would just be so great if you could share just a message of inspiration and encouragement on this journey of being a parent that has a neurodivergent child. Sometimes it can be so overwhelming and discouraging um, to constantly feel that we're supporting all the time. And it's like sometimes you want the support for you as a parent. So I would love to just
Sure.
have you share some words on that.
Yeah, I think one thing I will want to highlight fear, you know, and and just to helping parents being mindful, the fear is something, we have very unrealistic, expectation, and that is making us paralyzed. So in that moment, just remind yourself, whatever I'm thinking, most of the time, that may not be based on the facts, that may be based on my emotions, based on my feeling. So instead of pushing those fear away, or instead of fighting with that fear, I would say embrace that fear. Embrace mean I am worried about my child. I am worried things may not go as planned. I am worried people may start judging me, judging my child. But I'm not letting those fear paralyze me or making me, take away this fun moment from me or my family. So when you embrace that fear, then it will help you to take action.
Mhm.
With take action could be you proactively plan. If this could happen, these are the tools. If this is the safe space, this is the quiet space, these are the family members I can reach out. I can reach out to some of the friends who may have the children of the neurodiverse children. Ask them what have helped them, how what have helped, and what they have done. So when you embrace the fear, it allows you to take action. But if you let the fear paralyze you, that it just keep overwhelming you, then the small event, if you have heard a small news on the media or someone told, oh my child, the last, that just keep adding more and more to you. So
Mhm.
embrace it, take action, have that discussion, and allow yourself to make mistake. It's okay to not be a super mom. It's okay to not be a super dad. It's okay to human. And as a human, we all make mistakes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That is so supportive and so helpful, and I honestly wish that I had had those words when my child was first diagnosed. I mean, he's a teenager now, and so I love that this is here, this outlet is here to other parents to hear those words of encouragement and to get this information from you. So thank you again for your time and for your expertise. It's so appreciated.
No, and thank you so much again, for having this conversation. And I feel like you may think, that you don't have those study, but I think it's already inside you. You don't need someone else, and you don't realize it. And I'm glad, despite your child is, not teenager, but you're still exploring. And that's a really powerful tool as a parent, that we can keep utilizing. Don't let shame, don't let guilt, to paralyze you. You can do so much no matter how old our children are. Thank you.